Think about it, Rao. Wouldn't bringing life onto a planet that is inherently unstable add to the beauty of life? If at any moment it could explode. I had not thought of it like that. No? Truly, it would only be perfectly beautiful. A perfect piece of art. If one single life form escaped, to remember, to mourn, to despair. It is good. Yes, lady. I'm getting better and better at this whole voice acting thing. Get me a job, son. Pay me the big bucks. Now, in the Sandman universe, stars and planets have manifestations, essentially spirits of themselves. And in this, I'd probably even call it a overvoid, where minds and dreams and thoughts can manifest as beings. They interact with the endless whenever destiny calls for a banquet. At one such banquet, like in the intro, despair is essentially sitting across from Rao. Now, for a lot of you who don't know, Rao is the sun god of Krypton. In the Kryptonian pantheon, Rao is basically the equivalent of Zeus. He's the strongest god on Krypton. But Rao is also the main star inside of the Krypton system. And within the Sandman universe, these stars, when they manifest as personalities, they are shepherds for the people that they will seed inside of their system. So for us, the sun would have his own personality, and he would have seeded Earth with humans. He would have created the right environment for humans to essentially grow and evolve. Rao was tasked with doing such a thing inside of the Krypton system. However, that is where despair comes in. For when Rao went to essentially choose the planet that he was going to seed the Kryptonians on, despair presented him with this thought experiment. What if you created this perfect piece of art where you created this mighty civilization, and then that entire civilization is destroyed, and the one person to escape remembers it, mourns it, and despairs to it? And of course, for despair, she would love for the one person, that being Superman, to essentially despair over the loss of his entire homeworld. Problem is, the plan didn't go exactly the way in which she did. Well, it didn't exactly go the way in which she thought it would. Now, Rao took her suggestion and he seeded the Kryptonians on a doomed world, which means that that world, Krypton itself, was always doomed to die. The stars know which worlds would essentially be unstable and be snuffed out, and they would choose the healthy worlds to see their life. He chose Krypton due to Despair's suggestion. And of course, the rest is history. Jor-El realizes that the planet is unstable. He saves his only son. He sends his son off to Earth. She gets her beautiful crescendo with the world dying and the people lamenting and all of them despairing. And it's a beautiful work of art. And the cherry on top of that work of art would have been if Clark ended up on Earth and did nothing but mourn and despair for his people. But the problem is, when Superman arrives to Earth, he of course integrates himself with the Earthlings. He looks at himself as an Earthling. He knows he's a Kryptonian, but he looks at himself as another one of the people on this planet that has essentially adopted him. It ruins essentially Despair's plan, because Superman does not despair. Instead, he revels in looking into the past of the Kryptonians and using that knowledge from the past to better his new and adoptive homeworld. So you could say that Despair's plan works up to a certain point, where she gets that beautiful crescendo with Krypton being destroyed. However, upon Krypton essentially being destroyed, the bow never happens, because Superman doesn't despair, because he turns into a symbol of hope, which is everything that Despair absolutely despises. So not only does Despair essentially set up Superman's entire history by suggesting to Rao that that he placed his charges on Krypton, a planet that she knew was doomed to be destroyed, but she created a symbol that is anathemic to her very existence. Where she is despair, Superman is hope. She created the greatest symbol of hope on the planet Earth, and I know that burnt her ass, and she absolutely fucking despises that she gave out that, like, she threw that nugget out there for Rao in general. But it's one of the more doper aspects that I really enjoy from the Sandman, because there are so many nice nuances and interesting aspects to characters that are introduced that set up other characters inside of the DC universe. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.